On Global TV News Express, federal government unveils measures to curb exams malpractice. In business, Security Exchange Commission to intensify market enforcement in 2026. On the foreign scene, United Kingdom to seize illegal migrant phones under new counter-terror policy. And to sports now, Nigeria Football Federation welcomes Okonkwo's nationality switch. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Express on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Ubong Usoro. A quick reminder, Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shettima has called on Nigerian students to demonstrate greater seriousness, discipline, and passion towards their education, describing learning as a foundation for national development and sustainable progress. The Vice President made the call while addressing graduating students of Kashim Ibrahim University in Borno State during the institution's convocation ceremony. A correspondent reports.
Vice President Shettima, who was a special guest of honor at the event, emphasized that education remains the most powerful tool for overcoming poverty, insecurity, and underdevelopment.
But education remains the one inheritance that cannot be stripped away. It is the quiet companion that walks with you through hardships and triumphs alike. That is why the duty to educate can never be postponed, diminished, or treated as optional.
He cautioned students against shortcuts to success, stressing the importance of hard work, resilience, and a commitment to lifelong learning. The Borno State Governor Babangana Zulum, who also spoke at the ceremony, reaffirmed his administration's commitment to revitalizing the educational sector in the state.
To our esteemed graduates, you are the living fruit of our collective labor and hope. Your journey has been uniquely shaped by the times, yet you have persevered. As you step toward today, you carry not certificates, but the resilience of Borno and the promise of a brighter dawn.
In the major highlight of the event, the Oni of Ife, Oba Adedeye Enitan Oguwusi, was formally installed as the Chancellor of Kashim Ibrahim University. The revered monarch described education as a unifying force and charged students to become ambassadors of peace, culture, and national cohesion. The ceremony attracted top government officials, traditional rulers, academics, parents, and well-wishers from across the country.
The federal government has announced new measures to curb malpractice during the West African Examination Council and the National Examination Council examinations. Among the modalities announced by the Education Minister Tunji Alausa and the Minister of State for Education Suwaiba Ahmed, reduction of enhanced question randomization and the serialization mechanism. The government says the measures are part of ongoing reforms to strengthen credibility, transparency, and public confidence in the examination assessment system. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, has raised alarm that despite a slight decline in new Lassa fever infections, the disease continues to claim more lives, with a worrying rise in fatalities across the country. The NCDC disclosed that a total of 206 deaths were recorded from 1,119 confirmed cases out of 9,270 suspected cases in 2025. In its latest Lassa fever situation report for epidemiological week 51 between December 15 to 21, 2025, new confirmed cases dropped from 28 in week 50 to 21 cases in week 51. At least 26 people drowned and 14 others are missing after a boat carrying farmers and fishermen capsized in northeastern Nigeria. Executive Director of the State Emergency Management Agency in Yobe State, Mohammed Goje, stated that the incident happened when a makeshift passenger boat going from Jigawa State to Yobe State capsized. Here is a report by Zara Nasi.
Mohammed Goje noted that 13 other passengers were rescued, adding that search and rescue operations were still underway. Accidents are common on Nigeria's busy rivers, often caused by overloaded boats, poor maintenance, or failure to comply with safety regulations. Sanusi Ahmed is a boat worker and shares his thoughts on the incident.
It has been about 2 or 3 years since we last experienced an accident on our waterways. From what we understand, the accident must have been as a result of overloading. However, we try our best to manage the load to avoid placing excessive demand on our boats.
Meanwhile, Yobe State Governor Memala Buni has condoled with the families of the deceased, describing the incident as a monumental loss. Several dozens die each year in various accidents along Nigeria's waterways. Zahra Nasser reporting for Global TV.
Former councillors who served under the administration of former Kano State Governor Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje have thrown their weight behind Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf's potential defection to the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC). During a visit to the NNPP chairman in Kano, the group commended Governor Yusuf for his continued efforts towards the political and infrastructural development of the state. Global television correspondent Idris Jibrin brings the report.
The political atmosphere in Kano has been heating up in recent days as consultation intensified regarding Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf's possible move to the APC. This gathering is one of many receptions organized by party stakeholders showing growing support for the governor's potential defection.
And requesting the all leaders to move or defect from NNPP to APC because we feel this is the best, I think, way to go about it, especially as the election is nearing, 2027 election is coming closer, and this is the best way that I think we feel that Kano State can actually be safer, be more secure, be more peaceful.
According to the State Commissioner for Information and Internal Affairs, Ibrahim Waya, discussions have reached an advanced stage, and it is only a matter of time before Governor Yusuf announces his decision to the public.
We really want our two leaders to consider these humble requests for the people that they should actually defect from NPP to APC because as far as the state is concerned, as far as the people in the state are concerned, this is exactly what they want.
Addressing rumor of a rift between Governor Yusuf and his political mentor, Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso, the commissioner stated that the relationship between the two remains strong and cordial.
The real situation is that the governor, Ali Abba Kabir Yusuf, and also the national leader of the NPP, Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, they are still very close. They still relate as father and as son, and nothing has in any way disrupted or rather hurt their own relationship. Their own relationship is still very intact. Nothing has actually happened.
Meanwhile, the former councillors have expressed their full support for Governor Yusuf, urging him to heed the calls of Kano people and formally join the APC in the interest of unity, continuity, and progress in the state. From Kano, Idris Jibrin, Global Television News.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has warned residents of Ekiti State against engaging in multiple registration for the Permanent Voter Card (PVCs), stressing that offenders will face appropriate sanctions under the law. The Resident Electoral Commissioner, Bumi Omosheyi Demi, issued the warning while speaking with journalists in Ado Ekiti, as he announced the commencement of the second phase of the continuous voter registration exercise in the states. According to the commissioner, anybody who attempts to or is involved in multiple registrations or commits other infractions in the ongoing continuous voter registration exercise in the states would be dealt with according to the text of the law. An African Democratic Congress faction has formally inaugurated its zonal, state, and appeal Congress committees nationwide, a move aimed at strengthening party structures and ensuring smooth conduct of congresses ahead of the 2027 general elections. The inauguration was announced in Abuja by the factional national chairman Nafiu Gombe at a press conference. Nafiu said the committees were established to oversee the planning and execution of congresses at the zonal, state, and local government and ward levels, in strict compliance with the ADC Constitution and the Electoral Act. No fewer than 469 children died from malnutrition between January and July 2025 in Kano State, as the crisis of poor nutrition continues to threaten child survival in the state. This was disclosed by Professor Rukaya Aliyu Yusuf of the Department of Information and Media Studies, Bayero University, Kano, while presenting a paper titled Understanding the Basics of Behavioral Changes towards improving malnutrition in Kano at a media sensitization training. Professor Yusuf said malnutrition and poor dietary practices remain major public health challenges in Kano, noting that Nigeria still ranks poorly in the Global Nutrition Index. The Nigerian Army has commenced and announced the commencement of application for the 2026 Direct Short Service Commission (DSSC) for eligible Nigerians. According to a statement released by the Army headquarters via its official Facebook page, the DSSC is open to both civilians and serving military personnel seeking commissions as officers in the selected corps of the Nigerian Army. The available corps include the Nigerian Army Engineers, Nigerian Army Signals, Nigerian Army Medical Corps, Nigerian Army Electrical and Mechanical Engineers, and the Nigerian Army Education Corps. You're watching the live broadcast of News Express. When News Express returns, Security Exchange Commission to intensify market enforcement in 2026. Details coming shortly, plus foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please do stay with us. In business, the federal government has accredited Pillarcraft Cloud Solutions as a system integrator for Nigeria's e-invoicing framework under the ongoing tax reform initiative. The accreditation was granted by the Nigeria Revenue Service in collaboration with the National Information Technology Development Agency. The accreditation is designed to strengthen digital tax administration and support structured reporting by businesses. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, has reduced the pump price of premium motor spirits known as petrol at its retail outlets, lowering the price from 815 naira per litre in Abuja. The revised price was implemented at NNPC filling stations located at Lugbe, Wuse Zone 4 and 6 along the Kefi Abuja Road, as well as on the Kubwa Expressway. Despite the latest reduction, NNPC's pump price remains 79 naira higher than 739 per litre, currently sold at the Dangote refinery-backed MRS fueling stations nationwide. The Securities and Exchange Commission has announced plans to significantly step up the enforcement of market rules in 2026, following the enactment of the Investment and Securities Act 2025 as part of efforts to strengthen investor confidence and market integrity. The Director General of the Commission, Dr. Emomotimi Agama, disclosed this while outlining the Commission's regulatory priorities, noting that the new law has expanded the Commission's supervisory and enforcement powers. He said the Commission will apply these powers firmly and impartially to address market abuse, insider dealing, fraudulent investment schemes, and other forms of misconduct in the capital markets. Let's go to the foreign side now. Provisional results released by the electoral authorities indicate that President Faustin Archange Touadera has been re-elected for a third term in the Central African Republic. Touadera, 68, had been widely expected to win a third term and had touted his effort to steady a country plagued by conflict. Zara Nasi brings details.
Part of the opposition has called for a boycott, condemning the election as a sham and lacking political dialogue with the National Authority of Elections, stating that Touadera won more than 76% of the vote. His main opponent, Aniset Jogues Dolegele, came second with 15%, while Harry Mari Dondra was third with 3%. Turnout was around 52% for the December 28 polls, in which voters also cast ballots for national, municipal and local lawmakers. The final results will be announced in mid-January after the review of any appeals. Tuedera went into the election in pole position in a 7-strong field after a new constitution was adopted in 2023, allowing him to seek a third term. Zahrau Nasir, reporting for Global TV.
The United Kingdom government has activated a counter-terror policy that allows it to seize mobile phones from illegal migrants without arresting them. The government said the new law would help it to gather intelligence on smuggling gangs organizing small boats crossing into the UK. Border Security Minister Alex Norris said the promise to restore order and control to their borders, which means taking on people smuggling networks behind this deadly threat. Super Eagles head coach Eric Chile has expressed delight after Nigeria's 4-0 victory, describing it as a clear statement of intent at the AFCON tournament. Nigeria thrashed Mozambique with a masterclass performance underpinned by purpose, direction, urgency, and clinical delivery in the round of 16 tie. Victor Osimhen, who earned his 50th cap for Nigeria at the senior level, grabbed a brace, while Ademola Lookman and Akor Adams scored 1 goal each to ensure the Super Eagles qualify for the quarterfinals of the 35th AFCON finals. The Nigeria Football Federation has welcomed the nationality switch of Wrexham goalkeeper Otto Okonkwo, expressing optimism about adding the 24-year-old to its goalkeeping options. Born in London to Nigerian parents, Okonkwo is eligible to represent both England and Nigeria and featured for England at various youth levels. However, in December 2025, he completed a switch of allegiance to Nigeria, a move that has been warmly received by the Nigerian Football Federation. Strasbourg manager Liam Rozier says he has agreed to take over at Chelsea FC. The 41-year-old Englishman is set to replace Enzo Maresca, who left Chelsea on New Year's Day. Rozier says he cannot turn down the opportunity to join an incredible squad who are Club World Cup champions. As Global Television News Express comes to an end, here's a recap of our top stories. Federal government has announced new measures to curb malpractices during the West African Examination Council and the National Examination Council examinations. In business, the Securities and Exchange Commission has announced plans to significantly step up enforcement of market rules in 2026, following the enactment of the Investment and Securities Act 2025 as part of effort to strengthen investor confidence and market integrity. On the foreign scene, the United Kingdom government has activated a counter-terror policy that allows it to seize mobile phones from illegal migrants without arresting them. Now to sports, the Nigeria Football Federation has welcomed the nationality switch of Wrexham goalkeeper Otto Okonkwo, expressing optimism about adding the 24-year-old to its goalkeeping options. And that's it on News Express. A quick reminder, Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. Kindly do follow us across all social media platforms now shown on your screen using @Global TV NG. I am Ubong Osoro. Bye for now.